Hello everyone, welcome to the Social Club. We're back this week, we're back up north. For all the new viewers who tuned in after last week, who clamoured to see the fit one on the show again this week. Yeah, we got James. That really cute one that went down so well. I think James, his name's James, just use his name. Anyway, we're kicking off the show this week talking about Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Sergio Aguero. Apparently, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has completed the requirements for a one-year contract extension at Manchester United, but there's been no talk about whether that option will be taken up. And on the Man City side of things, Sergio Aguero, Guardiola's admitted that he's not in his first team. He's not basically in his best 11 at the moment. He thinks that Sané, Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling are providing something more than the kind of thing he's looking for, which means Aguero is the next option to come in there, which prompts the question of Sergio Aguero could well be looking for a new football club come the summer. So I want to gauge the opinions of the people in the room. James, I'll start with you. On the Aguero stuff, first and foremost, we've done a lot of talk about on Redmen about like a top striker, buying a top striker. Sergio Aguero is pound for pound
the top striker,
the best striker. If not, like he's up there within the world. I would say almost certainly in the Premier League. Why on earth would you make him available for transfer?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it feels like a lot of hyperbole over Jesus. How did I supposed to say his name? I'm going to go with Jesus.
Jesus.
Flav says apparently it's just Jesus, so I'm going to go with Jesus. Okay. He's obviously come in and he's been great, but Aguero's your guy. He's the best striker in the Premier League by a distance. I think but the fact that he's maybe not, I don't know, training hard enough, or Jesus has had a couple of good games and got a couple of goals, doesn't mean you get. I know. I think people are going well over the top on this. I think he's awesome, and I think if you get rid of him and you've got to rely on Jesus and Iheanacho, then that's suicide. Yeah. I think that's absolute suicide.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Patch? Would you take a punt on Aguero in the summer? You're going to be cash rich, right?
Well, we are cash rich. I don't know, would he get in above Valencia?
Yes.
Listen, Aguero, we've got one of the top scorers in the Premier League, in Lukaku, but Aguero's, for me, is a different level. He's up there with Suarez and Messi and Neymar as them. He's on that kind of level. I believe his name's Jesus, not Jesus, but
if he's
call him whatever you want.
He's Brazilian, right?
He's got three. And
Brazilians speak Portuguese, and the Portuguese pronounce it'd be Jose, otherwise like with Mourinho, so it's Jose, so it should be Jesus.
Bloody hell, so we've got three different
We've got all different. That kid,
you know who we're talking about.
Yeah, he's good. Gabriel. He's doing really well. No, he's obviously had a brilliant start. 3-3, hasn't he, or something like that. He was fantastic.
He played 5 minutes in the first game, didn't he?
He's had 3 appearances. He scored 3 goals, Liam.
Fucking City player, don't care enough.
Well, he can say 3 goals in 2 and a
5
bit.
Minutes, makes him even better. But he's obviously started really well, but Aguero's the man you go to, isn't he, all the time? Done it year after year after year. And I've seen Pep saying at the moment he's not, we're working better with this front three rather than Sergio. But I still can't believe Man City are going to allow him to walk out the door in the summer. I just can't see it.
We said the same about Guardiola when he was at Barcelona and he got rid of Ronaldinho, and he got rid of Ibrahimovic as well at Barcelona, didn't he? And look at the start of this year, he did the same with Joe Hart. He's got a reputation for, I don't like you, so you're not going to play, regardless of how good you are.
Of who you are.
And I mean, in terms of Ibrahimovic and Ronaldinho, maybe not so much Ronaldinho, but definitely Zlatan, it's come back to bite him in the arse over a period of how many years? Albeit that Messi's a
I'm not sure he'll be arsed, like.
Albeit Messi's probably the best player of all time, I mean,
also
it's
quite
not
good without him.
Yeah. I know, but come on, it's not like he's getting rid of shite players that were surplus to requirements. All of them, including Joe Hart, look how that's turned out, are great players. I think if he wants to get rid of Aguero, brilliant, sell him. I was obviously speaking as a Man United fan, because he's the best striker. Between him and Suarez, he's the best number 9 in the world, I think.
The only thing on the Aguero thing, Liverpool, as always, I'll always bring it back to Liverpool, it's the only footy I watch. Similar situations that Liverpool have got with Daniel Sturridge, and someone go, look, Aguero, much better than Daniel Sturridge. And even when they've had similar injury problems, Aguero's still been able to come in and score. He's still a 1 and 2 centre forward whenever he plays.
Missed like 3 months of last year, didn't he? He was still up there with the top goal scorers.
Exactly. Aguero is my favourite centre forward in the Premier League by a mile. But we've got the issue with Daniel Sturridge, and I think this is the issue they've got with Sergio Aguero, is that he doesn't naturally fit what he wants from that position. This is the thing with on paper, and we're going to be talking about Rangers in a bit and I think a lot of us we play Champ Man or Footy Manager and all that, and we've got the experience about it. You'd be looking on paper and go, God, just stick Sergio Aguero up front, there's 30 goals, sorted. Daniel Sturridge similarly. But if they don't fit what you're looking for, you'd undermine everything else that you're trying to do in a team. And if one guy's not pulling his weight, that can have a corrosive effect on what you're trying to do for the guys around it. And particularly when you've got very, very young players. Again, when you've got Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling, who are still, we see how impressionable Sterling is, Christ. It's not exactly going to be, you want someone up there working their absolute bollocks off.
But you don't have to be an absolute brain box to see he's guaranteed 30 goals a year. Guaranteed. He's just that good. You put him into any team on the planet and he'd score you 30 goals.
I completely agree with you. One thing I would say is that this is Man City. They have a lot of money. Yeah. So they could get Aubameyang, who they've been flirting with for a long time.
It's not like they're going to leave a hole in that squad, is it, in the summer or
exactly.
anything like,
No. So, yeah, I mean, I guess my original point of, like, you'd be left with Iheanacho and Gabriel. It wouldn't, would it? They'd get someone else who would do that job. But I just think he's awesome. Yeah. He's so good. He's so deadly. And there's question marks apparently about the way that he trains sometimes, but on the pitch, I get the feeling that he works hard most of the time. I think the thing is with Pep, in terms of if that's his style and that's what he's seeing, they've kind of just got to go right over to you, do what you want. He's not weak, is he, looking and going, Aguero's a fan's favourite, he's that. But there's got to come a point where players are that good that you do have to think, do we really want to let him out the door?
Well, he doesn't care though. Look at he done with Joe Hart at the start of the year.
Yeah, I know, but also think about it. Aguero, he's just about at the peak of his powers still, isn't he?
Yeah.
You've got, he's still a very injury prone player. He does score goals when he plays, but you can't. If you've got to. You want to shoot for the moon, you want to have your cake and eat it, don't you? You'd actually want a guy who scores those goals but can play 50 games a season, which, you know what I mean? When you've got Man City's money, isn't a ridiculous thing to ask for. When you're shopping a bit further down the pecking order, maybe that's like, God, why would you be asking for so many things? Maybe you've got to take a few gambles. But there could be that. You could be looking at it and thinking, well, look at Gabriel Jesus. He's young, I can build him, I can mould him. He's got all of his best years definitely still in front of him.
How long has Aguero got left in his contract, you know?
I actually don't know.
He signed a new contract, was it last year? Two or 3 years. Because he said whenever he finishes with City, he's going back to Argentina and retiring.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, was he going to prepare to sit on the bench for the next 3 years? If not, this has only been, 4 or 5 games?
But I think they're saying, they've said, they're happy to keep him. Obviously, they're not looking to move him on. Yeah. But he's telling Aguero, if it stays like this, if those 3 guys continue to perform, you will always be on the bench. So that's up to you how you want to proceed with that. Because, and he says, buying top quality centre forwards is not an easy thing to do.
The other thing he's not going to change is he's not going to go, I'll play him and Jesus up front, we'll go 4 or 3-5-2. He's going to play with that 4.
Well, let's move it on quickly then on the Zlatan thing. And obviously, Liam, you're a United fan, you do some stuff for United People's TV. If Man United opted not to take the contract extension on Zlatan's contract and he moved on in the summer, how would you feel about that?
A bit gutted. I think he's been the best signing across the Premier League, simply because he was free. This season, yeah. No matter what happens, whether he plays another year or not, we need another centre forward, because at the minute we don't have one. No matter,
Anthony Martial?
He's not a centre forward.
Is he not?
He's not an out number 9 striker, is he?
You've got Martial, Rashford.
They're not out strikers, though. Mourinho's playing them as wingers. They're not
at the moment, because Ibrahimovic is up front.
No, mate, I disagree. I think Mourinho has him in that mould. He doesn't have another striker.
To be fair, Martial is not a Mourinho.
Well, look, if you look at Mourinho's teams he's had before, he's always had that big, massive target man up top, hasn't he? He had Drogba with Chelsea. Ibrahimovic is exactly the same. So if Ibrahimovic isn't there, he'd have someone else come in. I think we need to buy another one anyway, because I don't think we have anyone in our squad in that kind of mould of big target man centre forward. While the other guys are probably.
Peter Crouch should be going cheap this summer.
100 Premier League goals though.
Ibrahimovic Crouch.
But I personally would love to see him there again.
Yeah, waiting for you to. We always help them out, We needed a goal, the poor lad, and we obliged.
Liam, Championship manager, right? You got indispensable to the club, first team player, what I say. Where's Ibrahimovic in that? Is he indispensable?
It changes from week to week. I think, depending on the rest of the injuries.
Where is he this week?
indispensable. I think next week could be different.
I think he's been fantastic.
He's been unbelievable. I'd love to see him there for another
goals.
year.
20, isn't he?
20 goals.
You know, we come in for nothing. People were raising an eyebrow. He's come in. He's been brilliant. I seen him at Goodison. He looked like he was 25. And I tell you what,
was it against Hull? No, maybe it wasn't Hull. Stoke. Or no, what do you call him? Burnley at home, when he should have scored about 4 or 5, only for Heaton and goal. Made some unbelievable saves. He could be on 25, 26. Really? Yeah. That's unheard of. For how was he? 35?
35.
That's unbelievable.
I think that's the thing. We know what Zlatan's like, though. He won't be asked. He'll go to another club, only he'll get another 300 grand a week play for someone else. He'll take a punt on him for 1 more year or 2 more years or whatever.
I remember sitting here a year ago having this conversation with you. It was before Ibrahimovic was even at United.
Is this where you highlight the fact that I thought he wasn't very good?
You thought he was terrible. You were like, I wouldn't have him at my club. I can't remember who else was on the panel that day, but you said, no, everyone else agreed with me. He was absolutely brilliant. If you look at his record...
He'd have been terrible for us. It's just how it works. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool had Cristiano Ronaldo lined up as a kid, and we refused to pay the fee. If we'd signed Cristiano Ronaldo, he wouldn't be the Ronaldo he is today. He'd have been shit. We'd have exactly. We'd have loaned him out to some Serie A team, and he'd be a bag of balls. Like, yeah, exactly. No, I haven't seen Zlatan with my own 2 eyes. This season I've been really impressed. I think he's good at it. He does, yeah, he's all right, isn't he? He's not bad. If only there'd been evidence of that. But no, I think it depends again on Man United's structure. If they can afford to, if they want to phase him out, if he wants to be phased out, I don't know, because
you don't phase out.
Exactly.
I think it's a really intriguing point you say the way Mourinho plays, because I can't. Well, the other guys he's got there. There's not another guy who plays in that style. No. Griezmann's the guy that you link with. He's not that guy. He's 5'8". At all, yeah. So I think he is indispensable because Mourinho.
Be the next Niall Quinn and Kevin Phillips, couldn't it? That next season. Big man, little man.
But I think you need him. You need him for another year because there's no one else.
There's no one else
about.
Well, you'd want him to bring someone along, wouldn't you? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you get the next Zlatan. There's no such thing as the next Zlatan, but you get someone else who does a reasonable facsimile of that job, and you go and train with Zlatan for a year, mate. And
see, I think he'll stay. He's done well enough. He's going to score another probably half a dozen goals between now and the end of the season. He's got a cup final coming up. Wouldn't put it past him to score the winner in the cup final because that's what he does.
I think it all hinges whether we finish top 4. I think he wants one more crack at the European Cup.
That's a good point.
And then kind of wait and see what happens. And ultimately, he's going to go back to Sweden, back to Malmo.
The goals haven't come from pace, have they? So nothing's going to change. He's still going to be 6'5". Still going to have a great touch. Yeah.
It's just more. I mean, I know he's like a karate master or whatever. Like, but it's all the other bits, isn't it? The go when you get to your mid-30s, as a few people in this room know.
Do you not think that Martial's got the power to be a centre forward?
I said the minute he joined, when he scored that goal against Liverpool, I thought that he was going to be a fantastic number 9, and he's never been played there.
So that doesn't mean he can't do it.
Doesn't mean he can't do it, but
can he play back to goal?
In my opinion, yeah, he can. Yeah. Especially if you have Griezmann or if you have Mata in that mould, to put the ball around the back of the defenders and run behind him.
Just look at what Mourinho did at Chelsea with Anelka. And he basically had Anelka playing on the wing because he had Drogba there. Whenever Drogba was injured, Anelka would play centre forward and score goals. Yeah. But the second Drogba's back out you go, mate.
Well, he has a format that he plays.
Exactly.
But like you said before, James, when you're thinking, who is there who could come in and play that role? Because even like United being linked with like Lukaku, or people like normally Lukaku can't play that role. He's a runner. Yeah. So when you're trying to think about around world football, you can do that. But Giroud can do it, but would Arsenal?
How old's Jan Koller these days?
That'd be amazing.
Jan Koller.
Oliver Bierhoff, is he still going? Like?
Koller, he's the man.
Jan Koller, 70 foot tall.
And Kevin Francis, what about him?
Back to what you were saying there, Baz, about who else is there. Well, we didn't know. No one knew who Drogba was before.
No, well, that's it. You're having to look around.
That's the job for the scouts.
We all know Mourinho's brilliant at bringing in unknown players on the cheap and building them into world. No, hang on.
Playing loads of youth teams. No, that never happened. Did you see the list they came up with at the start of the season about the 26 players? Apparently he'd introduced, it's 26 or whatever stupid number it was, that he introduced of youth team players he brought through, and you would probably recognise one name on the list. Really, and I was like, how is that bringing you?
It was like Rafa Benitez still about what great state he'd left Liverpool in, and he name checked Diego Cavalieri as leaving the goalkeeping situation spot on there. Good one, Raf. You probably should have drawn a line on that list there.
I mean, as much as I love
Mourinho, linked with Arsenal. the last couple of days.
Sure, why not?
Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, honestly. If Arsene goes, yeah.
Interesting. Well, we will be talking about Arsene Wenger and whether he should have his contract renewed on the next video, so stay tuned for that if you want to. You should want to, because it'll be boss. And if you don't want to, there's probably something wrong with you. Anyway, if you want to watch more great content, Ball Street FC, we took on Creators FC, that's AJ3 and a whole host of other FIFA YouTubers that I'm too old to really understand, but they were quite good at footy, and so were we. Watch those videos now. There's one on the Ball Street YouTube channel, and there's one over on AJ3's channel as well, James.
Watch our one.
Obviously, watch our one.
then
go and watch it, because
if you've got the time.
Yeah, definitely. But prioritise ours, yeah, and then check back for more Social Club.